An entire generation of girls and young women is being lost to the epidemic of human trafficking. It is the fastest growing illegal business in the world.
Introduce to this.
Myself, I needed help. I was living out of my car in California, so I needed help.
Human trafficking is the illegal trade in persons where victims are prostituted or forced into labor exploitation under threat of violence without pay. Our team booked a date with the victim using an online service. You might be surprised to know that human trafficking and modern-day slavery is a pervasive problem here in the United States.
Yeah, he keeps telling me he wants to take me away.
Well, and that's it. And that's very real.
After being contacted by this girl's mother, we brought in an interventionist to prepare her for what was about to happen.
I actually am here to offer you what he's talking about, if it's what you want. It's something that, it's very real, what he's been talking about doing, taking you away from this and getting you out of this. If you told me right now you wanted to get out, I would actually get you out of here today. Walk out of this hotel right now, go straight to the airport and take you out of here.
The United States of America is both a source and destination country for victims of human trafficking. You might be surprised to know that within miles of where you live, young women and girls are being corralled, prostituted, and broken into sex slavery. There's a problem with men around the world. Many of them feel entitled to buy sex, and this is fueling the demand for human trafficking victims. Ever since the internet boom, sex trafficking has been growing at an alarming rate. The massage parlors of Asia are teeming with young human trafficking victims. I met Na while working with investigators in Cambodia. She told me that she was 19, but I could see she was much younger than that. What does she want to do when she grows up?
The beauty salon. The family is very poor.
Did her father send her here? Na's father sold her to human traffickers to cover a $2,000 gambling debt.
What? You're so shy. So, I was hoping, Panit, you could ask her, so the massage is $6, yeah?
Huh? It's $50.
What's $50?
For sex.
Port-au-Prince, Haiti is a beautiful place with beautiful people. It's a potential paradise on earth. But since the great earthquake of January 2010, Haiti has become the worst human rights disaster in the Western Hemisphere, fueling the demand for cheap labor. So we're getting ready for the SWAT guys to come out of the station. We're going to go on a little ride down to the border of Cité Soleil, which is one of the problem cities here in Haiti. Little did I realize, as we were blazing through the city, that we were going to find a human trafficker, a real bad guy. When we first spotted the Bronco, we noticed that he wasn't complying with SWAT instructions, and I could see that he was hiding something in his pants. Human traffickers like this gang member are responsible for sustaining a fresh supply of victims to satisfy the demand.
In Los Angeles, you have the Crips and the Bloods. The Bloods have red bandanas and the Crips have got the blues. Well, here in Cité Soleil, this is the gang colors for one of the gangs, and we just took down the rape suspect, dropped him off at the police station in Cité Soleil, and he left his colors behind. So it's our little reminder of what those organized crime groups that are operating with impunity out of that region, trafficking girls, raping girls, doing all sorts of terrible stuff. The gang colors.
The ancient land of Kush, known today as Sudan, was connected to Egypt by the Nile River. Tradesmen and camel caravans waged bloody civil wars for the past centuries over the natural resources, leaving African tribal communities destitute. When I first arrived in Sudan to meet members of the Dinka tribe, they told me that women and children were being sold into slavery and that heartbroken parents were facing an agonizing choice when they discovered that their children had been taken to this little-known place called Darfur. It was a long, difficult journey for the former slaves to walk home hundreds of miles across the front lines of a civil war. The Underground Railroad bringing the captives home had been set up by humanitarian Muslims.
Silence. But I think they're starting to figure out what's happening.
Imagine waiting for days to be checked off a list, not knowing if your mother or your father would come for you. In the days that they waited, we interviewed and got to know many of the survivors. Now, it was finally time for the former slaves to be reunited with their families.
Thank you very much for waiting for us. What we need to do now is to check the names on the list to make sure the documentation is in good order. And so nobody should be afraid. It's going to be a good day. It's a happy day. And that very soon you'll all be able to go back to your homes.
And that's it. This is the children. They are running after to be reunited with their families. And they're very excited. They're very happy. The families are being reunited. These are the children that were just released. There's pandemonium breaking out as they hug each other that they're free. A lot of them have been abused and have suffered many terrible things. And they're very excited. You see joy breaking out everywhere.
Today's your day, man.
Jeudi à ce jour.
Right? Right.
Hey, buddy. Let me hold this stuff for you.
When Arason's mother unwittingly turned him over to his aunt, he was brokered into domestic slavery, forced to work 14 hours a day, and beaten if he did not obey.
It's a nice moment, huh?
Really good.
You want to take his hand and go take him to your mother?
Give me a minute. Minute by moment.
Arason spent most of his life as a slave. It was emotional for me to bring him back to his family. So, at the age of 12, Arason returned home and was reunited with his mother. Na acknowledged that she was 13 years old, but because the police accepted the documents stating that she was 19, The matter was referred to an internal affairs investigation. It came back from the human trafficking division that she was a legal adult, that the documents were in order. The tape says it all. The truth is the truth. And no matter how hard you take the truth and try to make it something else, it's still the truth. They're not always happy endings. Right in there is our little girl. You know, you can help some people, but inevitably the one you leave behind becomes so much more prominent in your mind than the ones that you can help. And that's something I always live with. I always live with the fact people say, well, how many children have you rescued, or how many slaves have you freed? And the answer is how many have I left behind, really? And that haunts me. It stays with me. It never leaves. This American girl suffered for 2 years in human trafficking. She followed our instructions and broke free of her captors. But the beatdowns and the drugs, the bulimia, the post-traumatic stress were all too much for her, and she was institutionalized. Today, at 85 pounds, she is fighting for her life.